Hello, everyone, and welcome to a special edition Tiny Toonkind D&D at 12 FPS. This is the first one that I've done. My name is Cayde, for everyone who doesn't know, and I'm joined today by... Introduce yourself, please.
Hi, I'm Cherry or Chair or whatever you want to call me. Hi, I'm nervous.
And that's perfectly valid. I'm a little bit nervous too now that I'm doing it, but I'm still so excited. This is going to be so much fun. So, before we really get into it, there's a little thing that I need to share for people who will be listening in the future who aren't in the Discord, like people on YouTube, people on Tumblr. So, we all know our good man, Larry Samuel, Larold, if you will. He's gotten a little bit popular since he started showing up in the Engineers films. Very popular indeed. And especially with a small band, very small, I might add, of tiny toons. Some of them are bugs, some of them burrowers. They're all very small, inches tall even. And they've come to live in one of the props, well, most of them have, in one of the prop storages in the Engineers studio in Dead Dodo Studios. So we're not going to be starting in the main storage, though, where all the others live. We're starting further back into one of the older prop storages. It's got a collection of odds and ends that were from when the engineer first started out, and a few that some of the owls found and just kept in case they might ever need it for one of the movies. If you'll share the image in the Nuts and Bolts gallery real quick, Chair, that would be a big help for those who are listening right now.
That one we made? Yeah, that one we made.
We made it together, and I'm very proud of it. Give a big
so
round of applause for Chair because she did the line art for the background. She went above and beyond. It looks so good. And I did the colors, and we each individually added in our characters. Mine's the little firefly Wynn, and theirs is Lester. So in this older prop room, near the very back, there's a box of old costumes with a big hole in one of the corners and a little handkerchief draped over it, nailed to the box. From inside here, we see a soft pink glow, and we hear happy humming as Wynn is setting about packing up because she's going to be moving to a different place in the studio, as she often does. So, there we go. Go ahead and introduce Lester then.
Alright. So, the other day, Lester came by here and they had a little conversation, and that was nice. He helped her out. And so now he's on his way back to help her move. So, yeah, ADHD.
Take your time.
Thank you for being patient, everyone. He's got his weapon out since they're going to be traveling, and this time, since he's not staying in the same place, he doesn't put it away. And he goes straight to the curtain because, he's expecting a friendly face again. And he pokes his head in and he goes, "Hi, Wynn, I'm back."
Wynn immediately perks up and turns around, her arms full of a little purple pack, and she says, Lester, it's so good to see you again. I'm so glad you came.
It's good to see you too. Oh man, I forgot to bring it. I'm sorry. I was gonna bring you a gift.
Oh, really? Oh, you didn't have to, Lester, but that's so kind.
I swear I'll bring it next time.
It's fine if you do or you don't. I just appreciate having you along. Do you want a snack while you're still here? I do still have some crackers and some of Cap's honey.
Why not? Why not? Are you getting close to getting ready to leave?
Yes, I actually have everything packed up by now. All that's left is to take down the curtain and leave it behind. Oh, by the way, that reminds me, I must say, Thank you so much for your help the other day with the mice. It was so nice. The metal plate, it worked like a charm. The mice haven't came back at all. Well, they did once try to come back around the front, but a little bit of a threat with my long nail proved that they didn't want to come back again.
That's great, and I'm really happy it worked.
Yes, yes. Now let's see about that snack. And she sets down her pack and gets out a little jar of Captain's honey, now fairly empty, but still enough for her to spread it on two little crackers and hand one to Lester as she starts to munch on her own and slings the pack over her shoulder.
I mentioned last time he likes crackers a lot. He likes foods like bread and crackers, some of his favorites, and he does like Cap's honey a lot. So he's very happy to be having this snack again. And as he's eating, he's finds a break to speak, and he asks, "Are you going to need help carrying anything?"
Oh, no, no, no. You don't have to worry about me at all. I'm fairly strong. I can hold my own. I can carry a small pack like this. It's only got my bedroll and a blanket in it.
And then he goes back to eating.
Wynn makes quick work of her snack, very energetic and ready to go. She's ready to move on to a new place because she has a special place in mind that she's had her eye on for quite a while, but she's been a little bit nervous to go there herself.
So Lester finishes up his snack, and then he still hasn't put his pin away. So he's finished his snack, and he, assuming they're sitting down at a table, stands up from the table, and he says, "Right, so we're ready to go?"
Yes, of course. Let me just. And she grabs the tiny spool of thread that she's been using as a table and as rope and stows it into her pack. And then she's like, all right, let's go. I'll lead the way. And starts to lead the way back out of the prop room and into the rest of the studio.
And he follows her.
So as they're traveling, Wynn kind of takes a winding path, trying to stick to the sides and maybe go through a few vents to stick away from the big folk. Because while it is a little bit later in the evening as they're doing this, so that it's safer to travel, there's still a few owls wandering about the studio that she'd care to avoid. And finally, they come into a large room, a very grand set. One of the eyeless one's older sets, and for those who don't know, the eyeless one is what the Tinies know the engineer as. And as they enter this huge desert kind of themed set, Wynn clasps her hands together and she's like, here it is. I've been waiting to come here for such a long time.
He's still cautious. He still has his weapon. And he says, it's a really big place for...
Go ahead.
Yeah, he comments on how big it is, and then he sort of wanders forward a little bit, but he doesn't move too far away from Wynn. And then he says, how did you pick this place out?
Wynn's light turns purple and she kind of starts to go forward and she sighs happily and she's like, well, you know how I've been exploring the sets and I've been watching them make the movies. I don't really know how I came across this place. I was just wondering, and I was wandering among the sets and came here through events, and I was just taken. Doesn't seem like it's been used very often recently. Probably seeing as the eyeless one has been trying to branch out with his movies recently, though Wynn doesn't really know that. Or, well,
all right.
like their own.
I was gonna save this question, but why not? So, Lester's not looking at Wynn. He's sort of just like still looking around the area because it's so big and it's really open, and he's kind of used to like more enclosed areas. And then he spends a moment just looking, and then he looks back at Wynn, and he doesn't he's not thinking before he speaks, and he asks, "Why do you move so often?"
When kind of her light turns a little bit yellow, and she looks back at him, and then her light turns a little bit navy blue, and she says, "Well, I don't know. Uh, it's hard to explain. I don't really know what to tell you."
You don't have to tell me that. I'm sorry I asked.
"Oh, no, 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 it's fine." And her light turns amber, and she's like, "No, no, it's perfectly fine. I can understand why you'd ask. I do wish I could I would spend more time with you and the others and live there still. I just it's complicated. I'm sorry if I don't know. Hmm.
It's fine. I yeah. Um, and he sort of looks back again at the area, and then uh, he's just going, "Oh God, that was a bad question. I got to change the subject now." Um, so he another pause, and he says, "Where are you setting up? I can help you get your stuff out."
Wynn shrugs. "I haven't decided yet. I haven't done too much exploring of this place. I just found it and thought it was interesting. So I suppose we can wander and talk, and maybe I'll find some place along the way." And so she starts to walk, and she takes a big look around. Just her light turns a little bit more pink again as she continues to look.
Yeah, Lester's following sort of absentmindedly. He's not like really paying attention to her or where he's walking, just like the stuff around him and behind him and everywhere else.
As they're walking, Wynn gives a little hum and says, "So, what have things been like in the time I've been gone? How is everyone? Harold, maybe Cass, what sort of trouble has Cass gotten into? I know she loves to adventure."
Cass. And he's happy. He's actually genuinely happy and excited to talk about his family. And he says, "Cass and I've been trying to teach Cass how to fight recently. We've been sparring a little bit. I don't really want to hurt her, so I've been going easy on her, but honestly, she's really good."
"I'm certain Cass has always been very strong and very brave. I admire her. She's so brave for such a small child."
And Harold's stories have just gotten more and more amazing, and he's grinning really big because he really looks up to Harold.
Uh, Wynn turns really brightly pink, and she says, "Ah, yes, I'm sure. I can't wait to come back and hear them once I've settled down here." "Oh, and what
And
about
I'm
Cap? What about Captain?"
see this part. I knew you were gonna ask about Cap, and because I haven't really figured out exactly what like yeah the whole father son thing, but still, um, he's he's kind of nervous to talk about Cap. He loves Cap a lot. He does, and Wynn knows that. But he still keeps his smile. And he says, "Cap's been great. I know that he likes flowers a lot, so me and a few others have been making little paper ones since he can't see any of the real ones here. I do hope that we can find him one. Maybe someone will bring one into the studio or something."
Wynn looks back at him and nods. "I'm sure you could find one. And that sounds so nice. Cap is sure to love all the gifts you'll be making for him. Maybe I could join in too next time I come by.
Oh, that'd be great. And paper flowers, they're really fun to make.
I've never tried it before. I'm not very good with crafts, but I do like to doodle a little bit sometimes when I'm not practicing my acting.
You draw.
Not so very much, just little doodles on the margins of paper and boxes that I find. It's just something to pass the time, and it's a little bit fun, though I'm no good at it yet.
I'd love to see what you make.
Oh, thank you. Maybe sometime. I don't have any drawings with me. I usually just kind of leave them. and uh and they continue further, and uh now that they're getting into some busier parts with a lot of cacti and, well, fake cacti, probably. Knowing the engineer, some of them could very well be real. But uh, Wynn knocks on a few of the hollow prop cacti, debating on whether or not to make her stay in there, and she decides against it. Uh, she looks around at some of the fake rock formations of the studio, and uh, she is starting to really look into where she might live now. And then, around the middle of the set, they come across a train. You know how the engineer loves his trains, but this one isn't Will o' the Wisp, unfortunately, as that one's only been recovered recently. This one is an older one that's all bronze and gold, maybe a little bit steampunk. Uh, because I do believe that maybe the engineer would have dabbled in that just a little bit, because Western steampunk sounds pretty cool, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yes. So, um, Wynn immediately lights up at the sight of this train, and she says, "Yes, this is it."
Um, Lester moves up next to her in the train and he looks up at it and he, in awe. It's huge. He's never seen a real train before. And he's not even sure if it actually is real. I'm not sure if it is real. Is it real?
Probably, knowing the engineer.
It's real. So he's he's really excited to see it because he he's seen some bits and pieces of Engie's movies, and some the trains, they look huge and detailed and glorious, and I can't think of adjectives, whatever. And now, oh my god, or my Larry, it's a real train. So he looks over when he goes, "This is it? You're gonna live in the train?"
Yes, I do believe so. I've lived in a few model trains in prop storage, but this, this is so beautiful. Can you imagine me in a set with the eyeless one acting out on one of these? It's amazing.
I'd love to see you in a movie someday. I know it's been your dream for a while. I really hope you manage to get there.
Yes, I hope so too. Though I will admit the big folk are a little bit scary. But soon, soon I hope. And she starts to climb up the train, and at some larger gaps she flies up, and then takes out her spool of thread and drops some thread for Lester to climb up with her.
And yeah, he climbs it after.
Uh, it takes a little bit of climbing considering they're so small, but eventually they do make it up into the train, and Wynn is immediately off to explore it, and she runs into one of the carriages, and just her light turns pink, and then light purple, and then pink again, and as if she can't decide what emotion she wants to feel right now, and switching between the two. And she looks around, and she's like, where should I stay? What carriage? What part? I can't decide.
I can help you look around. That's it. That's all I'm saying. I'm sorry.
It's okay. Wynn eagerly nods and takes Lester by the hand and starts to run off towards one of the front carriages. And she looks around. She tries to find a good nook or cranny to make her stay in. And she's just having such a good time already. And she honestly can't decide where to start.
How many carriages are there?
Let's say, I don't know, about 4 maybe? Because it's only part of a set. It's not gonna be like a huge long train right now.
4 is still pretty big, though.
Yeah.
They're little teenies.
Yeah. That's
So it's gonna take
that's not including the engine though.
Right. I don't know what else to do but just look around the train.
Yeah. Um I guess Wynn and Lester make their way onto a dining car, and Wynn is eagerly sprinting under tables and then flying up on top of them and exploring. She's never been on a train before. She's seen bits and pieces of them in movies, in the Eyeless Ones movies, and she's just so stoked to be here. Uh, I guess she settles down in a corner of the dining room cart and she says, "Perhaps here I could take some of the tablecloth and make a little tent. What do you think?"
Lester's a little bit farther back because he's not as fast as her. She can fly. He's looking more at the stuff on the ground, and then he hears her speak, and he runs over, and he looks over the area with her, and he nods, and he says, "It looks great. I can help you set up a tent if you'd like."
Yes, I greatly appreciate that. These tablecloths are quite big and I didn't really bring much to cut with. Maybe my long nail could work, but uh, she flies up and starts to tie a tablecloth down. There's no plates or anything set out on it yet, because, there's still not too many props on this set. It hasn't been used in a while. But the train itself looks immaculate still. Like some of the rest of the set had some dust gathered on it, but this train looks really well kept. And she starts to tug down a tablecloth and brings it down on top of her, and with a little squeal.
That's cute. Oh no, okay, now I have to think. So Lester runs over and he helps try to pull the tablecloth off of her.
Wynn kind of like wiggles her way out and then brings out her long nail and starts to stab into the cloth and try to cut it. And starts to try to make her tent.
Lester, I think he would help her cut, I guess. First he asks, is there anywhere I can help cut? Because she's got her, the one area, and he doesn't know what she has in mind yet.
She thinks a moment and then says, "Just cut a few different squares of different sizes. I'm not sure how big I want my tent to be yet, but we'll figure it out."
And he does.
Okay, so I guess they start to get the tent set up, and by the time they're done, Wynn looks at it so proudly, and she's absolutely beaming. And she turns to Lester and she says, "Now come inside and help me set up, and we can talk. We can talk. It's been too long, Lester."
It has. The visit a few days ago, it wasn't as long as I would have liked. And then he follows her in.
She sets her pack down and starts to take out her bedroll and her little spool of thread and sets it down as a table. And she just kind of gets things set up, makes sure everything's neat, and she just looks happier than she's been in a long time. This is a big part of her dream, being on a set like this. And she looks to Lester and she's like, "What do you think? Do you think I could make a big star and uh, perform on a set like this?"
He doesn't want to tell her because the way I see it, not I shouldn't say that because I'm Lester right now, but they're small and actors are big, and he's worried. He's worried that if she does make it as an actress, then there's the big actors and actresses too, and she doesn't want he doesn't want her to get hurt. So he does keep his smile, and he's instead he gives a more hopeful response. He says, "I'd love to see you try. I really, really think that you can. You're an amazing actress from what I've seen so far, and I'd love to see you in a movie."
uh, her light turns a candy red, kind of pinkish red, and she just looks at him so happily and so glad that he said that. And she's like, "You really think so? I'm so thank you, Lester. Thank you so much. It, this would be a lot harder without support from you and the others. I'm so I'll admit it gets a little bit scary because, you know, they're so big. I get scared just trying to get close to them and watch them make the movies. But someday I hope that I'll be able to do it. And who knows? Perhaps I could even perform with Larry. Wouldn't that be something?
He's absolutely glowing. Not literally, but he's so happy that she's so excited and happy about this. And he says, "That'd be amazing." And he gives that little laugh that I did at the end.
uh, Wynn smiles. Well, she's already smiling, but she nods and she kind of looks at him and she's like, she puts a hand up under her chin and she's like, "Perhaps you could even perform with me. It would be so neat to have a friend on stage."
And his antenna kind of go a little bit limper, and he goes, "Oh no, I don't think I could ever. You're so wonderful on stage, and I don't think I could ever." Mm. Plus, like you said, they're all so big, and the noises.
Uh, Wynn kind of cocks her head to the side, thinking, and then she says, "Well, maybe we could practice. I'm sure you'd be a great actor too. We could try."
He knows this is the thing that would make her happy, so he nods. He agrees. He says, "I'd love to try to act with you."
Okay, let's see then. Perhaps, we could do one of those classic, train robberies. You can be the thief coming on board to steal the train, and I'll, uh, be the conductor, trying to protect it with my life. Does that sound good?
He's nervous, but he's still not showing it much. He's still smiling, and he nods, and he says, "Sounds great. How do you want me to start?"
Uh, yes. Just, uh, come up and act like you're going to, take this train from me. Uh, Roll performance, I guess.
That's a thing. Okay.
Yeah.
That's +1. Why does he have a +1? He's okay. Okay, that's a 6.
Uh-oh.
This went as well as expected.
So, what do you do?
So he runs back out to the entrance of the train, and like he doesn't know what to do. He hasn't he hasn't seen too many movies, so he's got his weapon drawn, and he goes, I'm robbing this train now. I'm robbing this train. And
Wynn laughs, and though it's not a good performance, she still appreciates it, and she's like, let me roll performance for her. She doesn't actually have any +2 performance at all.
oh no.
So, let's see.
I'm gonna look at the chat for a second. I want to see what's going on.
Okay. Oh, she gets a 9. She's not doing much better than him, but she has enthusiasm to back it up. She says, thief, stay back. I will vanquish you. And she waves her long nail around all excitedly. And she's got a big grin on her face. She's clearly not really acting very well, but she's just so excited she can't contain it.
Lester's trying to act along, but he can't anymore. He just like bursts out laughing.
Wynn can't help but laugh too, and she's like, "Why are you laughing? Why are you laughing? This is supposed to be acting."
I'm sorry. I'm not good at this. He kind of waves his whip around too.
She just puts down her weapon, and she's like, "Oh well. There's time for practice later. I can't take you seriously like this."
He's still laughing a bit, and then he calms down and he puts his weapon down as well, and he's still smiling really big, and he goes, "I'm sorry."
Wynn shakes her head and waves her hands. "No, it's fine. Oh boy, I miss doing this, just having fun with you. I need to come around more often. I feel so bad about that."
He's still smiling, and he says, "I know we all miss you, and I can understand that you would rather be alone, but just know we all really, really care about you, and we miss you a lot. Cap is worried sick all the time."
As he says all that, her light starts to turn navy blue, but she's still kind of smiling, and she says, "I will come first thing in the morning. I would hate to keep all of you waiting. I miss you all so much." And the thing is that she doesn't say is that she really doesn't want to be alone, but there's something holding her back, and so here she is with Lester having the time of her life, and she misses being with them all the time.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Now,
man, I was really in it for a second, and now I've lost. You were saying something?
No, never mind. I don't want to say that in case you've forgotten.
What? Wait. Then I'm allowed to roll for colors?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna do that.
Okay, so
I think I know what.
So I made a deal with Cherry that at any point during this FPS, she could roll to decipher one of roll insight to decipher one of Wynn's colors. Well, two actually. But what I didn't tell her was that there's two difficulties. There are more face value emotions like happiness, sadness, and confusion that will take a 10 to decipher, and she just rolled a 6, which will not
Again?
get this more obscure emotion, which would take like a 16 to decipher. So,
It's
too bad
6.
you don't get this one. It's okay though.
Oh man. Okay, so he's completely oblivious, and yeah. So he says, tomorrow, that'll be great. I'll tell everyone that you're coming on my way back tonight.
Wynn nods, and her light starts to glow a little bit more pink again, and she says, I would love to see you all tomorrow. Ah, it's going to be so much fun. There's so much catching up to do, I'm sure. But for now, I don't know. Maybe you should go home. I'm sure Cap's going to be worried sick if you're away for too long. I don't know. I'd like to have you here more.
He definitely doesn't want to leave her alone because. So he says, I can stay a little while longer. We're having fun anyway.
Wynn lights up some more, and she says, "Are you sure? I was so worried that you know how Captain is. He always gets so worried when one of us is away for so long. He's probably constantly pulling his fuzz out about me."
He kind of gives a slight nod, and he says, I'm sure he won't be worried if I'm gone a little bit longer. I know he cares, but. And he kind of stops there.
Wynn just beams at him and comes forward and gives him a little hug. "I'm so glad you're here, Lester. I appreciate you so much. You've been such a good help today." And she pulls back and places her hand on his shoulders, and she's like, "You know what? Maybe we could go do a snack raid. We could get more food. I'm actually low. I didn't bring too much with me. So maybe we could do that."
Okay, so for the first part of that, I want you to roll insight.
Ooh, okay. Let me see what.
This is the thing I was excited to talk about.
Ooh, she's got a +4 to insight. Ooh.
Oh, nice.
D20 +4. A 6? How? No, Dice Parser hates us today. We've been getting 6s and 9s. Ah, no.
I really wanted you to get that one.
Ah.
All right, she doesn't get anything.
Oh no.
Sorry.
Oh no. Dice Parser, why?
She kind of just notices that his smile kind of wavers just a little bit, but he's still really smiling. And then he brightens up even more at the mention of going on a food raid, and he says, "Oh, yes, I was going to bring you some food myself, but I only brought my weapons." And yeah, he wants to go get food.
Okay, so Wynn gestures for him to follow her. There's actually a break room, I think, not too far from here. It should be easy to grab some snacks from there, and no one would be the wiser.
This is a fun thing. He's still really, really excited, and big smile, because that's Lester. He smiles. He always smiles. Always big smile. And he nods and he says, yes, let's go. I didn't know there was a break room around here.
Wynn kind of shrugs. Well, of course, it's such a big place. They've got to have a few around here.
I've only seen about 1 or 2. Normally I just go straight for the kitchen.
Yes, but there's not too many kitchens. I usually settle for the break rooms because I move around so much.
He looks confused for a second. He says, There's more than one kitchen?
I don't know. I haven't been to many. She shakes her head and she's like, "Whatever. Come on, let's go." And she starts to lead the way off the train into the vents, and uh, it's a little bit of a walk. Like it had been a pretty long walk to get to the set from the other prop room, but it might be a little bit longer of a walk to get to the break room, actually. But Wynn doesn't seem to mind at all. Oh, she doesn't even seem to notice how long it is. She's just practically bouncing on her way over.
Lester's a bit nervous to travel into the vents so often today, but he's still smiling big and really excited that Wynn's so happy.
Wynn's glow is practically is probably bright enough to light up a whole room by now. She's just so bright and pink, and she leads the way into the break room and drops down some thread for Lester to kind of climb down from the vent, because the vent kind of went up a little bit, and so it's a little bit higher in this room.
Yeah, he slides down after.
Okay. She immediately looks around for some sort of pantry, and when she finds it, she flies over and kind of struggles to get it open, but eventually she does, and she yells from high up, "Lester, Lester, get down there! I will throw the food down to you."
He tries to find a safer way down. And then once he does, assuming he doesn't just like fall off, he'd probably be okay if he did, but whatever. He then runs across the floor out in the open and makes his way to under where Wynn is. And then he yells up, "I'm ready!"
Wynn starts tearing into all sorts of little bags and jars of all sorts of different snacks, and tosses her little bag down to Lester first so he can put it all inside, and she's just so happy to be doing this with him, so happy to be with him. And then she hears footsteps, very large footsteps near the door.
Yeah, oh, that's not a good thing. Does Lester hear them?
Yeah,
Or do I have to
probably.
roll? Yeah, okay. So instant panic. He takes the bag and he looks up at Wynn, and he doesn't want to make any noise to alert anyone that he's there. So he kind of like he tosses his pin down onto the ground to try and make just enough noise so that she can hear, and then he tries to find somewhere to hide. Because she's flying, he can't get to her. He's so scared for her.
Yeah. Wynn's light turns yellow and then white, and then she looks down at Lester and looks up at the door and sees the shadow and like there's a little bit of light in the hallway, and she sees the shadow of somebody moving to stand outside the door, and she instantly hides behind a jar in the pantry as a janitor owl starts to come in.
Oh no. Oh, this is I knew something like this was gonna happen. Lester, he's like huddled down in a shadowy corner somewhere, and he's looking for Wynn. He isn't moving from where he is because he's so scared, but he's looking around and just hoping that he can see her and make sure that she's okay.
Wynn is kind of stiff right behind a jar, and she hugs her tail close, trying to smother the white glow of it. And the janitor owl comes in whistling. Doesn't really notice a thing, except that he noticed is the pantry is open, and he's like, "Oh, well, that's weird," and closes it. So uh, he he starts to like mop the floors, and then decides it's clean enough that he doesn't really need to do much else, and leaves again, shuts the door behind him, and Wynn is now shut in the pantry.
Oh no. Okay. I'm glad you didn't make the big owl stay along longer, but this isn't a lot better. So yeah, Lester, I don't know if he saw where she went, but assuming that she's still in the pantry, um, he's panicking because hmm, you can't, he can't get under that door crack, can he?
I don't believe he could.
All right, so, now that that's out the window, he looks for a way up near the door handle.
Okay, I guess roll perception.
That's a thing.
Yeah.
All right. And that's another +1. He's +1 for everything.
Well, that's good. Finally, a good roll, a decent roll of 15. So Lester notices a broom, like a bunch of, utilities in the corner, like just in case, a mess gets made, broom and a mop. And one of them is leaned up against the pantry that could take him up pretty close to where the handles are.
And I'm hoping it's at an angle enough so that he can climb and not slip off. So yeah, he sees the mop or the broom or whatever it is that's leaning against the pantry, and he takes his needle because he dropped it, I think.
Yeah.
And wait, it's called a needle, right? Yeah. And then he moves over to the broom thingy and climbs up it carefully. He started off running up it, and then he realized this isn't good. This is dangerous. I'm gonna fall and die. So he starts sort of crawling up a bit instead.
I guess go ahead and do either a roll for athletics or acrobatics to see how well he makes it up.
Acrobatics, he has a +5.
Oh, good. A 10.
A 10!
That's decent enough. I'll say he makes it up. It's not easy, but he does manage to get up. And so he's near the handles to the pantry, and he can now hear Wynn kind of knocking up against the pantry door and saying, "Lester! Lester, are you out there?"
I'm here! I'm near the door handle. Yeah. So, is the broom thing right, like, above the handle or next to it or on the other side from it?
It's gonna be, I'd say, kind of adjacent to it. It's more leaned up against the side of the pantry, so it's not quite in line with it. He's gonna have to do a little bit of acrobatics or something, or maybe he can go back and grab the thread that Wynn left near the vent. That's just a suggestion.
Not a bad one.
Yeah.
So, he notices that she left the thread behind, and then he looks back to the door and he yells, "I'm gonna get you out of there!" And then he slides back down the I'm gonna have to roll again to get back up there, aren't I?
No, it's fine. I won't make you roll again.
Okay. He slides down the broom and he goes to get the string. And then, because I'm not allowed to roll, or I don't get to roll, whatever, he climbs back up, and then here's what he's going to do. He's going to jump and try to catch the handle with the thread and use his own momentum and weight to swing it.
Ooh, that sounds interesting. I'm not sure if I actually want you to roll for that or if it just succeeds. I guess it's up to your discretion.
I've got a +4 and +5 to acrobatics and athletics. Yeah, I do.
Okay.
So if you want to make me roll, that's fine. If not, you can just say it works.
I'd say it works.
You don't want him to get hurt.
I want them to make it out of this pretty well. I don't want Lester to get hurt and fall. His fall damage is not kind.
Oh no.
So the cabinet, the pantry doors swing open just enough that Wynn immediately bolts out as soon as they're open, just enough for her to escape. And she's like, "Yes, yes, finally! I was so scared."
He's still sort of hanging on the thread. Oh no, how's he gonna get down? And he looks up and he's holding on by one arm so he can wave. And he goes, "Win! I did it!" And then he grabs back onto the string so that he doesn't slip.
Wynn is like, "Yes, I see. Thank you so much, Lester. You're my hero." And she comes down and she grabs the thread and kind of lifts him up on the thread and flies him back down to the ground very gently. And she then proceeds to give him a very grateful hug.
And of course, he hugs back. He's really happy she's okay.
She quickly pulls away and gathers up the thread, and she's like, "I wasn't expecting such an adventure tonight. I was expecting to explore the set, sure, but I was thinking we would leave soon, and now we're together, and that was it was scary, but it was fun. I haven't adventured like that in a while."
There's two ways that he could react to this, and yeah, she's happy now. He's happy now. He's still smiling really, really big, and he just says, "I'm glad you're all right. We should get back soon." And he's looking towards the door where the owl had just left. "I'm worried there will be more."
Yes, of course. Let's go before we cause any more trouble. And she quickly gathers up the bag with all the food in it, slings it over her shoulder, and then flies up to the vent to drop down thread again for Lester to climb back up and for them to return back to the set.
All right. Yeah, he's going back with her.
Once they make it there, they climb back up onto the train, and Wynn lets out such a happy sigh, like, I missed that. I missed adventuring. I missed you. I missed everyone. Tomorrow is going to be so good. I can't wait to see them again. I can't wait to, really see you again because it's kind of dark. It's a little bit hard to see everything."
He laughs and he says, "Yeah, everyone, I said it already, I know, but everyone's really missing you." I'm sure that they'd love to hear the stories of any movies that you've seen recently. Wait, I was going to say something else, wasn't I? And then he pauses and kind of reflects on what just happened, and he says, "I know that was really scary and dangerous, but you're right, it was a lot of fun." Now the genuine smile.
Wynn really beams at him and she says, "You know what? Perhaps you should spend the night, and we can go back together in the morning."
He's not thinking about Cap right now. He's not thinking about how worried Cap was going to be when he said he's going to come back later tonight and then he doesn't come back. I'm thinking about that. It's really funny. But, so he's still really, really happy right now. And he says, yes, I'd love to.
Wynn says, "Yes, come on. There's plenty of space on the bedroll for this. We can talk more. What have you been up to lately? I asked about the others, but what about you?"
Insight again.
Okay, let's see. She still has a +4 to that. Let's see if Dice Parser is on our side now. 13.
13. Okay. That'll do it. This time you can tell he sort of drops. He lets a frown slip instead of his regular smile for a second, and then he catches himself and he brings it back and he says, "Oh, nothing much." And he really means nothing much. He hasn't done anything for himself. He has been spending all his time making the others happy.
Wynn's light kind of turns a little bit green, and she gives him a little bit of a frown, and she says, "Oh, really? That's a shame. I'm sure that there's plenty for you to do that you would enjoy. Like, this adventuring was so fun. Maybe, if you ever want to go adventuring again, you could just ask me. It would be fun."
He says, that'd be great, actually. It really was fun. He's sort of surprised about how much he enjoyed actually almost getting killed. I guess.
Getting into trouble.
Really fun. And then he says, let's just make sure there's not any owls around next time.
Yes, perhaps that would be for the best. I'll try to keep an eye out for the janitor when he makes his rounds.
This is cute. So yeah, they're going back. Don't really have anything else to say right there.
Perhaps this is where we could leave it for now, because I assume that they'll be spending the night together, just chatting and catching up and stuff. And Wynn could tell him all about the new movie she'd seen, where the eyeless one and his 3 companions rode through a canyon to catch a train, and it was a magnificent black spooky train that with a giant serpent on the end. And,
he's going to be so happy to hear that.
Yeah.
Again, like I said before, he's a listener. He loves listening to stories, especially Wynn's.
Yeah. So I assume that they'll just spend the rest of the night chatting away, and tomorrow morning they're going to have a lot of explaining to do to Captain.
Oh yeah, oh poor Cap.
Yeah. So I guess that's it for this edition of 12 FPS. Toonkind at 12 FPS. So that was a lot of fun.
It was. I did freeze up again a lot, like I thought I would, but
it's okay.
I did have fun. I really did have fun.
Yeah, there were a few bumps and bumps in the road, but this was really good first attempt, and I really enjoyed this. So thanks everybody for coming, and I hope you all have a great time. Thanks for tuning in. Bye-bye.
I get to look at the chat now. Bye.